Now a question from Algebra 2.
I'm having a problem with completing the square.
All right.
Here's the problem. It's x squared plus 6x plus 13 equals 0.
All right. Well, in completing the square, the first thing that we're going to do is we want to get the constant function, in other words, or the constant quantity, to the right-hand side of the equation. In other words, the x's are going to be on the left, and the constants are going to be on the right. What that means is that we're going to have to subtract 13 from both sides of the equation. Doing that, we get x squared plus 6x, and here you want to leave yourself a little space because we're going to put something in here, is equal to negative 13. All right, the next step in completing the square is that we're going to look at the constant in this linear or middle term, and the constant here is 6. It's the coefficient of x. You take half of that number and square it. So I'm going to take half of 6, which is 3, square it, that's 9. And in order to keep, you'll notice that I just added 9 to the left-hand side. In order for this to still be an equality, I have to add 9 to the other side as well. Automatically, when you take half of this middle constant term and square it, you are going to have a perfect square here on the left. And as a matter of fact, there's going to be x plus whatever 1/2 of this was, which was 3. X plus 3 squared. If you actually expand this, you're going to get x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9, which is x squared plus 6x plus 9. Over here, we're going to get a negative 4. Now, you will notice that we square something and we get a negative 4, which means that there are no real solutions to this, but it doesn't prevent us from completing the square. When you have a situation like this, you have to take the square root of both sides. So just to get the x plus 3 on the right is equal to the square root of negative 4. Well, the square root of negative 4, and that's going to be plus or minus, because you're going to have both a positive and negative root, this is going to be equal to plus or minus 2i. So, in order to solve it finally, we're going to have to subtract 3 from both sides. So we're going to have x is equal to negative 3 plus or minus 2i. And this is the result of completing the square for that quadratic equation.